Hey there and welcome to another channel video, and today I'm going to review one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest 100 MHz 2 channels oscilloscope on the market. I'm talking about the CDEK SDS1102X, and believe it or not, this is one of the most requested oscilloscope reviews that I received. If you follow the equipment that is available on the market today, especially by Owen, probably this model rings a bell on your mind, and it should, because this model is a rebrand of the Owen SDS1102, but you can find it also in other brands like the Hamtech, I think. In my point of view, I think that this black finish makes it even cooler, but that's just a personal preference. I tried to reach CDEK to review this item, but never found a website or mail where I can contact them. So bear in mind this when buying one. This unit wasn't sent for review by CDEK. I bought it using the money from my viewers' sponsorships. So this brings me to the next topic, and that is to send a big thank you to all of you that have been using these affiliate links to sponsor the channel and allow me to do these videos. You just have to use the access affiliate links before your purchases on AliExpress or Amazon, and you will be helping me by sponsoring the channel with the small commission fees I receive. You pay exactly the same, but give the channel a big help. A really big thank you for your support. Now, let's start with the key features. As always, let's start with the unboxing. The box where the oscilloscope comes, it's this carton box, nothing special, really nothing to point out, no specs, nothing at all. So let's open it. Okay, so inside the box came a pair of test leads, a software CD, a USB Type-A to Type-B cable, a USB Type-A to DC barrel cable, a 5V 2 amps 10 watts power supply, the SDS1102X oscilloscope, and a printed English-only user manual. Has infographics, yeah, some organization, seems okay. Okay, as first impressions, I must say that it feels really good. The quality of this device for the price, I think this is a catch. We have some silicone or rubber like buttons. They are clickable, yeah, and also the push buttons like those are also rubber or silicone like material. We have two channels in this oscilloscope. On the front, basically that's it. We will see more of the operation when I power it up. We have on the back a handle and to fit, how does this work? Like this, to give an inclined position of the oscilloscope. Yeah, it will give you some level of thrust in this, but even so, let me see, yeah, not bad. But this is a very small device. You have also in this side USB Type-B connector socket, and the power is done by a DC barrel that you can connect here. So that justifies this adapter that you have for connecting and also the power supply. Okay, in terms of outside, that's basically it. You retract the fit like this. One of the things that I want to show you is this, and I will put this oscilloscope on the horizontal so we can see it better. This seems incredibly similar to the Owen product, and I only have here the SDS1104, it's the 4-channel version, but if you go online and see, the 2-channel version is basically equal to this one. And even the case is almost identical. Forget the for channels, but if you notice, the square wave output signal is the same. The power button is exactly the same, other than the color. The icons for power are the same, the lettering, the menu buttons, the options buttons on the screen are the same, and you even have this effect you don't notice so well in here. Let me see if I can show. Yeah, it's there. And the design also of the buttons is the same, also clickable. Even the graphics on the front are basically the same. So if this is not from Owen, and if it is, it's a great price for the same device. One thing that is a bit different is the power supply, that previously on the Owen, and I have this one for 2 years. Meanwhile, they might have changed this. It used to be connected directly to the power line with a ESC cable. Right now we have this DC barrel or DC socket for connecting. Also, it seems that, yeah, nothing much different. If you notice, everything in the case is the same. Even the serial in the bottom seems to be the same schema. Yeah, the tags. So I think it's almost secure to say that this one is produced by Owen. It's the same model, nothing different. Also, the probes that comes with it are the probes, not the 6100 as usual on these small devices or cheap devices, are the OW31000, and this is exactly the same that comes with the SD04. Yeah, 100 megahertz probe, and they are exactly the same. This one is from my Owen. Again, everything seems to point out that this is produced by Owen, and if it is, that's really good news, because this one is one of my favorites, let's call it start of the line devices. So this is the cheapest device on Owen, but that doesn't say anything because the quality is pretty good for the price. I did a review on this on the beginning of the channel. This one was the first oscilloscope that I received here for free to review. Not because of that, but because it is a really good device. At the time, I loved the experience with this oscilloscope. One thing that you probably don't know is that this device is one of that I have more requests to review in terms of oscilloscopes, because it's really cheap. It's even cheaper than the FNIRSI 1014D. So for the price, this is a bargain. Now, what is missing is to see if the quality is the same as the Owen device and if it will be a good buy. Now is the time to talk about this video sponsor, PCBWay. I always use PCBWay for creating my boards with a professional factory quality, as you saw in my millivolt voltage reference board. It is very cheap to manufacture your PCBs on PCBWay. You can manufacture 10 PCBs for only $5. How awesome is this? And it is pretty easy also. Just insert here the PCB dimensions and you'll have an instant code. So when you want a PCB, visit PCBWay to get your code, and if it is your first time ordering from PCBWay, you can use our access link for a $5 credit. And don't forget, they also have component assembly service, 3D printing service, and much more. So before starting the oscilloscope, the first thing I will do is to take this film out. Let's see how this will go. Okay, it's coming out. Well, it's a bit harder than I was expecting, but it's out. Very cool. Let's now connect the probes. I already calibrated the probes, so we will not spend any time on it. Okay, I think that we are good. Okay, now that the film was removed, let's power the unit. Okay, this is the background from Owen, but does not have all those images of equipments that Owen shows. Okay, here we have it. The first thing I will do is to yeah, soften this brightness so you can see better what is on the screen. Yeah, I think it's better like this. Okay. So next I will connect the channels on my function generator. Let's do a auto. Okay. In here we have two time division settings already predefined that you can choose. Let's leave it like this and take this out of the way. And let's now see what we have in terms of buttons and knobs. This set of 5 buttons are option buttons. When you use, for example, the utility menu, you have here these selectors that you can use. And let's start with the utility menu. I will move it to the first option. Let me take. You have 6 options in this utility menu. You have configure, display, adjust, save, and update. So in configure, you are able to choose the language. Right now it's in English, but you have, I believe, Chinese and also Russian, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and I don't know those two. I think one should be Korean and Japanese, maybe. I will not try to guess. Well, I'm guessing, but never mind. Let's put it again in English. Yeah. And also you can do a key-lock. You can lock the keys of this device. Let's do that. Right now, when you try to do anything, it says it is locked. So to unlock, just press menu and force 3 times in sequence. 1, 2, 3. And it's already unlocked to continue working. You have also the device. It is UDISC, USTMC or PC for the USB connection. So if you want to connect, for example, a USB pen here, you have to use it as UDISC, I think. And finally, we have the About, where you have the serial number, version, and so on. Okay, in terms of utility, we have also display. So on display, I already shown that we can change the backlight here. Yeah, we have several levels of backlight. We have also the reticle of the screen. Right now it's squares with dots. You have only this cross in the screen and also without anything, so any reticle in the screen. Let's move again with lines and squares. We can define also the time that the menu is on the screen. We have options from 5 seconds to 30 seconds. And that's about it. Let me move to adjust. In terms, the menu adjust has the self-calibration, the factory default, and also the probe channel. Okay, then we have the save. The save menu here, it's quite interesting. It's one of the most complex systems or complete systems that I came across. We have for saving the waveform type, where you have the source. It can be channel 1, channel 2, matte channel, or all channels. So you can save it to an object. With the multi-purpose knob, you can select which object you want to save it and then activate the on. You go to the next page. It has to have the storage internal and then press storage. And right now you save the waveform to the position 0. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's change something here in the screen like this, and as you can see, it is saved and you can have it on the screen. Then if you don't want to have this on the screen, just go to the previous page and object, you take it off. Okay, this allows you to see the previous object and compare the signals with the previous ones. You have, I believe, 16 positions for this. Let me try to yeah, 16. So it's from 0 to 16. You can save 16 waveforms, and this is really nice. Also, you can select external storage, and then you are able to save it, for example, on a USB pen in binary format, text format, or CSV. You just press storage. I don't have anything connected right now, so it will not work, but let's connect here a pen. Okay, I think that I have to go to utility. Let's go and configure and put this on UDisk. Yeah, now I have the pen indicator here on the top, and let's go to save again. So again, you have CSV, binary, text. Let's save it as CSV, and storage. You are able to write the name, and when finished, just press OK, and it is saved as CSV on the pen. Okay, let me take it out. Other than waveforms, you can save other things, like the settings, the configuration settings. For that you have also, I believe, 16 slots. Let me see. No, sorry, you have 8 slots. And this is very interesting. Let's assume that right now I want to, let's do auto select. Okay, so I want to have this with these settings. And if I press copy, okay, he will save the settings to this configuration that is setting 1. Now let's move to setting 2, okay, and this signal, I will want it, let's activate here the XY mode, for example. Okay, I have the XY there, and I will copy this setting to setting 2. And okay, instead of XY mode, we can use the FFT. And I need to change here to settings 3. And I can do here the save instead of pressing the copy. So right now I have 3 different settings. If I want, for example, to load, let's do a load. And this will be very cool if you have the load button in here. Let's do like settings. I want to do a setting 1 and then load, and it will be immediately on the configuration settings that I had or the presets I had for the settings 1 list. Let's try settings 2. Okay, load. And as you can see, it loads the settings that you saved initially. Well, I'm just changing the XY mode and stuff like that, but you can have preset settings for each situation, and you don't need to go around and do everything by hand. You just load the settings and that's it. So this is a pretty cool feature to have. Let's get out of here. So in terms of utility, finally, we have the update system. And for that, you put the file, for example, on a USB pen, and then just press start and it will update the firmware. Okay, that's it for utility. And I already explained the copy also. That's one of the keys that we have in here. Anytime you want to copy the settings, it will be copied to the settings, as I told you before, that is selected in here, and you have to be in this settings option. In terms of functions, we have the auto select. It's fast, much faster to do the auto select that the version that I have, the O1, is. Everything in here seems much faster, to be honest, so the processor should be an upgraded version. We have also the run stop here in the left corner, in the right corner. And then you have these 3 buttons. It's the measurement, the acquisition, and the cursors, but I will talk about this and other features more ahead in the video in separate chapters. You have also the horizontal option that will activate the zoom, but I will talk this ahead also. And in terms of knobs, you have the multi-purpose knob. For example, you are able to take every menu from the screen just pressing in this multi-purpose knob, and as I showed you already, can be used as a selector. You have the position that allow you to move in the memory, and the time division knob. Also the position for each channel. Okay, you can move the channels wherever you want. and then if you press twice, it will center the channels on the screen. Okay. Finally, in terms of knobs, not finally, but also for the channels, you have the amplitude selector for each channel. Okay. It's clickable, but it's not doing anything. And for channel 2, the same here. In terms of buttons, you have the channel 1, channel 2 button for the properties of the channel. For each channel, you have the DC coupling, the AC coupling, and the ground coupling. Okay. You can have it also inverted if you want to. Let's take this out. And also the probe can be 100 and 1000 times compensated. So using the multi-purpose knob, you are able to choose the option that you want, but not only. You can choose also with this option button. And yeah, let's keep it at 10 times. You have also here the measurement for current, where you using the knob can select what you want. I will take this off. And you can also activate the bandwidth limit to 20 meg or not. Okay, in terms of channel, those are the options, and you have it for channel 1 or channel 2, obviously. If you press it again, you disable the channel. Okay, like channel 2, take it out. Yeah. Other menu is the trigger menu that we have in here. For trigger menu, you have the single or the alternate. Okay. In the single, you can select the edge or video triggering. For video, you have PAL, SECAM, and NTSC. Let's put again on edge. For edge, you have the auto mode, the normal mode, and the single mode. As you see, it changed here in the top. Now says stop because it was triggered. Okay, let's do it auto again. On the second page, you have some more options. You can select for triggering DC or AC coupling. Also, the slope can be rising slope or falling slope. Yeah. You have the hold off and the hold off release. Let me see if you are in video modes. Yeah, the options are sync, line, field, odd, and even. Line no. Yeah, back to normal. Let's take this out. Okay, so in terms of the menu for triggering, that's what we have. Also, we have this key for force. It's used basically when you are on normal or single mode to trigger the triggering. Okay, mainly those are the options. The rest will be explained for a separate chapter. So let's move on. Regarding the display, you have on the screen here on the top left zone the triggering status. You have it right now running and triggering. It stopped, and if you have the single activated, it will show single also. You have the buffer zone or the memory here on the top, and also those two lines show the memory that is currently displayed on the screen. So right now is this part of the memory that is displayed on the screen. You can increase, decrease, and so on. Also, you have here the position that is being displayed on the screen, and you can go to the left or to the right, and if you notice, this value is updated. Okay, double click to center again. In terms of arrows also, you have the arrow for channel 1 and for channel 2. It shows the center of the signal, and also the arrow that shows the triggering position. You can change the triggering position like this. Double click to center the triggering. Okay. Okay, in the screen you have the measurements. I have two selected for channel 1, the VPP and the function. You can have these all populated with measures. You have here the time division indicator. We have right now 500 nanoseconds. And the next value is the sampling rate per channel. We have it already in 5 megasamples per second. And the memory depth that we have and is currently in use, 10K. In the bottom, we have the amplitude for channel 1, for channel 2, and the value per division. So we have it here. If you activate the counter, it will show in here. Let me see, in the acquisition we have the counter. So you have a counter that you can use and is shown here. And for last, you have here the triggering information. For that is triggering on channel 1, DC coupling with rising slope, and right now it's with a 0 millivolts position. You can change that by moving the trigger indicator. Okay, that's it in terms of screen. So in terms of measurements, that's what I'm going to talk now. It's activated using this key, the measure. I have already the VPP and also the frequency in the screen. You can have, well, I don't know how many and I will not count it, but a lot of options. You can go RMS and you can go down, and for each channel you can have all these options. It's crazy. So if you want a summary of what you can add, just press here in show, and you can have all these options in the screen, and you can have it activated per channel. And I think if I have activated the MET functions, let me see, it will be able to change also to the MET channel. Oh, no, I was wrong. Okay, let's take this out of the screen. So yeah, at least you have it for channel 1 and channel 2. All these options, but you can select individually per channel which options you can have. You have cycle area, well, phase, screen duty. You have a lot of stuff here to show. So I can say for sure it's one of the most complete in terms of measurements that I know. Well, in these entry line oscilloscopes. Okay, you can have also the same for channel 2. As you can see, I added the period. If you want to remove only this one, you have here channel 2 period remove. Okay, and then you can select which option you want to remove. So I wanted to remove this one from channel 2. And if you want to remove it all, just press this last button. Okay, in terms of measurements, that's it. You have a lot of measurements to choose from. So yeah, that's a very nice feature also. Continuing with the buttons, the next button is the acquire, and that will activate the acquisition mode. For acquisition mode, you have the sample, also the peak detect, and also the acquisition mode average. For that you can have 4 samples, 16, 64 or 128, and this will stabilize the signal for a better reading. As you can see, you don't have anymore that kind of jitter. Okay, I will leave it at sample. It's faster to respond, as you can see, is instant. Okay. Back to the acquisition menu, you have also for the displayed signal to display it as a vector or dots. Well, the dots create a line made of dots. You have also the persist. Let me activate here the sweep so we can see the persist. Okay, we have the persist in 1 second. 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and the next step is infinity, I believe. Yeah. Okay, that's it. And also in the acquisition menu is where you activate the XY mode. Okay, we have it already here. I will show you working more ahead in the video. And you can have also a counter that will appear in here. And that's it for the acquisition part. For the XY mode, let's start by pressing the acquire button and again coming here to the XY mode option and set it to 1. As you can see, I have already centered and have a signal of 2 sine waves of 1 megahertz each. I will now add the frequency of the second channel to 2 megahertz. Yeah, 2 megahertz seems okay. And I will start rotating by changing the frequency in a few degrees. As you can see, the rendering is pretty good at all. And again, let's add some spikes to this. Yeah, like this. Yeah, this is amazing. I already said it when I tested the Owen SDS1104, and for a, let's call it, cheap oscilloscope, this one has one of the best interfaces for XY mode. Not only that, you have the animation, you have a scale, and also all the information is always present here on the screen. And more than that, you can identify the signal on top, so you can understand what this animation represents in terms of signal. So this is really, really amazing the way they present this, and as it is also in the FFT. So I think this one is a winner. I will move on. Another thing that I have here to show you is the cursors. For the cursors, you just press here the button, and you have several types. You have the time and voltage, and I believe the auto also, and the voltage alone. I will use the time and voltage. For selecting which cursors you will use, there is here where it says line A, B and AB. So for A it will select the left line, for B it will select the right line. If you are working with horizontal lines, A is top and B is bottom, and I will show you in a bit. Okay, let's go again to cursors. Right now I want to select the A, and I will use the multi-purpose knob to move the line. Okay, I want it like here. Let's take it to here. And now the B. Okay, something like this. And what else? So I want to change the unit type to voltage. So I will now use the line to position the A, and I want it lower. Okay, and then the B. Okay, pretty easy to use. And on the right side you have all the measurements. So you have the deltas here, also the Y1, Y2, and the X values below. Everything is in here. You keep always the measures in the screen. One other thing just to end, if you go to AB, you will be able to move both lines at the same time, as I'm showing you on the screen. I think I already mentioned, but you have also the source. You can change between channel 1 and channel 2. And that's it in terms of cursors. Let's move on. In the horizontal system, you have this key that, when pressed, will show you this zoom window. For the zoom, you have several information. You have here the channels with the time division for the zoom factor, and also the position in the memory. As I showed before, we can change this by changing here with the position knob. Okay, but you can also change the zoom by moving the time division. This is what we have right now on the normal screen with a 500 nanoseconds time division. So this is the 500 nanoseconds time division, and then you can change it to whatever you want. This is the minimum, and this is the maximum zoom that you can have. It's 2 nanoseconds. And in terms of zoom, that's it. Regarding the math functions, we have here the math button that you can press, and it will allow you to perform several options, several calculus between two channels. So you have the factor 1, the factor 2, so the two parcels, and you can add, subtract, multiply, or divide the values of the channels. To show you, let me press again in math sign. This is the addition of the two channels, the subtraction, and the multiplication and division of both channels. So if you are acquainted with this operation, this shouldn't be something new. You have also on the next page some vertical settings that you can define. but it is quite simple to use. And in terms of MET functions, we have also the FFT, but I will talk about it next. For the FFT testing, I'm producing right now a sweep. Let me show you here my function generators. This is a amps alt signal. I will now connect to channel 1 on my function generator, and as you can see, it's a sweeping signal. It has rising and decreasing edge, and right now I'm going to activate the FFT. As you can see, it is also one of these cheaper oscilloscopes best FFT. You have here the horizontal frequencies on the top. Also, you can see the signal on the top. That is very nice to understand what kind of signal is being displayed on the FFT. And also you have the vertical information in dB and also in divisions. Well, you can see on the screen clearly the harmonics, and also in the sides and on the top you can see the scales sign. While it does not have the values are on the scales, at least you have some indication, some divisions to better calculate your values. Okay, this is the FFT, and let me activate again the menu. For that, we go to MET, and we have several types of display. We have the Hamming, the rectangle, the Blackman, the Hanning, and the Kaiser, and finally the Bartlett. Okay, you have also the format. It can be in dB or VRMS. Okay, as you can see, the harmonics there being displayed. I don't know if I can get this bigger. I cannot. And on the next page you have some more horizontal and vertical settings for this. Okay, I think that's it. So let's move on. For the bandwidth test, I will start by testing the bandwidth with 1 Hz 1 volt VPP, and the 1 volt VPP will allow me to check if the VPP goes under something like 715 to 20 something millivolts, while you reach the -3 dB bandwidth. So let's power the channel. Okay, it's connected. 1 Hertz, the best way to see it, it's in roll mode. That's another thing that I didn't show before, so you can see it, the roll mode, how it works. Okay, if I increase, yeah, it's too low. So from 1 Hertz, I will go directly to 100 kilohertz. Okay, let's do auto again. We have 1 volt and something VPP, 100 kilohertz in here, so we are good. I will go directly to 1 megahertz. Okay, 1 megahertz sine wave. Okay, seems good. Yeah, seems nice. No issues about it. Still over 1 volt VPP. The frequency is detected fairly good. Yeah, it's oscillating a bit, but that's normal. Okay, right now I'm going to pass like 25 megahertz. Let's jump. And yeah, the signal has a little bit of jitter, but we can activate here on acquire. Instead of acquisition mode sample or peak detect, you can use the acquisition mode average, like 4 samples. Yeah, and take this out of the screen, and it is much smoother, the signal. Yeah. Okay, so what's next? Let's go half of the maximum bandwidth allowed, that is 100 megahertz, and I should say that I'm pretty happy until now. We have 995 millivolts at 50 megahertz, so pretty cool. 75 megahertz. Let me do auto set just to check. So we are still 900 millivolts at 75 megahertz. This is behaving really good. And let's go to the max of my function generator, 100 megahertz. Okay, in terms of 100 megahertz, this is the maximum. 2 nanoseconds, the maximum zoom in the signal is 2 nanoseconds. Right now it's at 760 something millivolts, so quite good. This is way over the minus 3 dB, and we have a 100 megahertz signal. So this is a true 100 megahertz oscilloscope. Quite amazing for the price. Again, this is a bargain, and you should take the chance to buy it while it is at this price. Okay, in terms of bandwidth tests, that's it. Let me just show you some square waves. In terms of square waves, the maximum of my function generator is 30 megahertz, so I will take it to 1 megahertz to see. Let's see what we have in here. Okay, this is 1 megahertz. Let me increase slowly. 5 megahertz. As always, the square wave is one of the waveforms that is harder to display. It gives more trouble to display in the screen. So let me take this now to 10 megahertz. Yeah, auto set again. Even so, it has some deformations and whatever. But I accept this as a very good performance for a device of this price. So here you have the triangle wave. Now let me get one of my favorites. It's the heart. And for the heart, I have to take out here the acquisition mode. And yeah, I want to sample. Yeah, because otherwise it will be very hard to fix this. Let me take this out of the screen. I need to fix here the trigger to stabilize it. I think it's too down, yeah. And yeah, almost good enough. So here you have it. Also the heart, it is with a very bright light. Let me try to lower the bright of this. Yeah, should be better. And yeah, this is a win. What a oscilloscope for the price. Totally win. Okay, let's move on. Okay, something that you might be wondering is if we have now a USB charger for powering this device, if we can power it using a USB power bank. Okay, I have here a 20,000 milliamps hour, I believe, power bank, something like that. Let's try and see what happens. Okay, we have it here. It is charged, so let's power this. Seems to be working. Okay, as you can see, the cable, it's the same. And yeah, you can use it without any problem using a power bank. That's also nice when you want to take it to the field. So yeah, it works. Let's wrap it up, and I have so much to talk about, so please bear with me. As always, the first topic is the price. I paid exactly 123 euros and 42 cents for the SDS1102X, meaning that in dollars should be around 132. You should have the order in the screen, and as you can see, it was a bargain. Let me be clear, I bought this unit on AliExpress Choice Week, and that allowed me to use also a coupon to get 12 euros or around $30 off discount. But even so, at that time the price without discount was 135 euros or $145, and again, that was a bargain. It's hard to get a better dollar for your buck deal. I bought my unit almost 2 months ago, considering the time of the recording of this video, and at this time the price has changed a bit, but you can currently find it at 144 euros or around $154 with free shipping. It's $10 higher than the price I paid, but even so, much more economic than the Owen SDS1102 or other options in the same range of price. If the price itself was not enough to keep you interested, as you were able to confirm before in the bandwidth tests, this is really a 100 MHz oscilloscope. You probably can stretch it to 110 MHz, still over the -3 dB mark. While the software is not the most attractive considering the new UIs that basically everyone is releasing to the market these days, mainly because this device has been around for a few years and can benefit a UI makeover. But that said, you have all the features in there and handled very professionally. Another interesting thing is that you can have a connection to the PC and control it also by SCPI commands, something that you normally can't find in these entry lines of oscilloscopes. It has zoom functions, selectable measures, cursors, different acquisition, customizable modes, matte functions, a very acceptable FFT function, XY mode, waveform saving, not only screen captures but the waveform that you can work later, and comes with 1 gigasample per second sampling rate. On the oscilloscope showdown that I made few years ago between 3 different oscilloscopes, the SDS1104, the 4-channel version of this one, was at the time the most accurate of the 3 that I analyzed. At that point, TechCorner channel was only started a few months ago, so the review was a bit clumsy, but if you want to see it, you have it here on the top left corner. This SDS1102X seems an upgrade version of my SDS1104 in terms of speed. It seems they updated the processor unit and it is now much faster. The boot loading time, for example, is less than half. And also in the interface responses, you can feel that is much faster, especially in functions like the XY mode, the FFT, or cursors that require more processing for the animation. During the video I was comparing both units, trying to understand if they were from the same manufacturer or just a cheap copy. But just when I was preparing this conclusion, I took a closer look on the sticker in the CDEK box. And it was evident that this was manufactured by Owen, as you can see in the image, since the Owen is a brand of Lilliput, one of the big manufacturers of electronic equipment in China, producing not only test equipment but also a very big one in equipment for TV channels, film recording equipment and so on. To summarize, and people normally ask me this a lot, if in my opinion they should buy this equipment. Well, that's up to you. My job here is to show you the equipment so you can take a more informed decision. Even so, and with that said, in my opinion about it is that it is a catch for the price it is right now. If you are looking for a benchtop 100 MHz 1 gigasample per second oscilloscope for a low price, this is a very good option. So if you are considering to buy one, consider also sponsor the channel by using the affiliate access links in the screen or in the video description to access AliExpress or Amazon before your purchases. Same price to you, a big help for the channel. Thank you for your support. And if this video was useful to you in any way, please smack that like button. And also remember that if you are not subscribed, you might be missing all the new equipments and technology that every week I receive to review. That's it for today. A big kudos to you for spending your time with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, take care.